If there's one place that you will not catch me anytime soon, it is Brazil. Because it seems like Brazil's safety record right now is in the absolute toilet. Oliver Tree just passed away in an allegedly unlicensed air taxi, a helicopter-to-helicopter collision. It's now coming out that apparently you've got unlicensed helicopter operators. They're rolling back the clocks on helicopters, not fulfilling all the safety obligations. These helicopters aren't being maintained. They're crashing into each other. Somebody like Oliver Tree is really losing his life out here flying in an unlicensed air taxi in Brazil. It just doesn't really give you much hope. But that's not the only ridiculous, unsafe situation that we've seen in Brazil. You might well have seen this footage that has been going around of the woman being thrown to her death in what was supposed to be a bungee jumping outing. But there was no bungee cord attached. They simply threw this woman from a great height and just filmed her dying. Now, this story's been going around for a little while now, but we finally got a massive update in it, and it's not what you think. Everybody thinking, oh, this is a tragic accident. I don't buy it. I don't think for a second it's a tragic accident, and now full-blown charges have been brought against the people that were involved that day, and I think there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. So we're going to break it all down in this video, but before we get to it, I'm going to show you the footage now. Look, I'll be real with you guys, okay? I'll be real with you guys. I'm not going to show you the moment of impact, but I'm going to show you her being thrown off the ledge, okay? You don't see her in distress. You don't see her being hurt. Any footage that I show you is going to be blurred, okay? And you're not actually going to see the injuries, but I am going to give you a trigger warning. You are going to see a woman thrown off of a building and she's no longer, I don't even need to tell you that she didn't survive. Like, you don't get thrown from a 40-meter height without ropes and live to tell the tale. But I just want to give you a trigger warning because we are going to be talking and showing footage that basically shows the safety failures right before this woman's death that was clearly preventable and arguably, in my opinion, some sort of foul play is going on here, just in my opinion, just because there's no explanation for this. Okay, so I'm giving you guys a trigger warning. I'm going to show you this footage for journalistic and documentary purposes so that we can actually document this history so that we can follow and so you guys can fully understand what is going on with this case. When I start talking about foul play and people getting arrested and people getting charged, you're going to know exactly why. You're going to know exactly what's going on. Okay, so this is the footage. And when this first went around, a lot of people were saying this was AI. But it ain't AI. This was real. It turned out to be real. Now, this is a 21-year-old Brazilian woman who was thrown 40 meters from a high ledge without ropes during a jump. She was supposed to be tethered to this bungee cord, and she wasn't. So let's look at it, and I'm going to show you a couple angles.
Ai, meu Deus do céu.
How is no one noticing at this point that there's no rope attached to her? This is ridiculous. Why is no one saying, wait, what's going on? And what is this? Is that a rope, or is that something that's supposed to resemble a rope? Was it attached to the wrong person? What the hell is going on? So this is another angle now. I want to warn you, okay? This one's going to show a little bit more of her falling, but we're not going to see her hit the ground, and this is going to be censored. So I'm going to be, I've made sure that this clip has been censored in line with YouTube's guidelines, and you're not actually going to see the moment of impact. But this is it. It says, footage was released the moment the 21-year-old woman was accidentally killed when Entree Cordas workers forgot to attach her safety rope and threw her off the skeleton bridge in Limeira in a city of Brazil's Sao Paulo state. No Brazil trips for me anytime soon, bro. Absolute joke. But look at, just when you see this angle, it just really drives home how awful this was. No rope, no safety, no checks. Absolutely disgraceful. So here's some footage showing how a jump from the same location is supposed to look when you're not committing manslaughter, right? This is meant to be the same jump, same place, tied down with the ropes. How did nobody notice? How did this not get noticed? Would never, ever go to one of these, like, places ever. Great, insane. Absolutely awful, okay? So what makes this even more devastating, right? Apparently, she was posting in the run-up to this woman who was so excited She was showing her excitement for the bungee jumping trip and posted a bunch of Instagram stories of how gassed she was for this. It really, really breaks my heart to see this, okay? It says, I'm really scared about the news and even more so about the video. It's so sad to see her stories before the accident. How does a team prepared to do such risky and dangerous jumps not check beforehand if everything is okay with the equipment and the safety ropes before throwing the girl? Bizarro. Here are her stories. Look at this. I'm not blaming her, but like, you're seeing signs like this, I'm turning around and leaving for sure. Poor woman.
O que é a vida?
And so look, these guys are jumping without a hitch. Everybody's noticing they're on the tether. How on earth did nobody notice that she was not tethered up? How on earth did nobody notice? Now, this incident would be reported on the news and we would get some more details about it. And for many days, you know, it's been a little while since this happened. It's been like 3-4 days since this news really has hit. And everybody's saying, what the hell happened? I'm going to tell you what happened in a minute, all right? But it's really, really messed up and this is really, really sad, okay?
Ai, meu Deus.
An unimaginable scene captured on camera. This woman about to be launched into a bungee jump from the top of a bridge in Brazil. But take a close look. The only thing missing is the rope itself. The staff throwing her off the platform without the safety equipment attached. The woman plunging 130 feet to her death. The workers appearing to only realize after the fact what they've done. You can hear someone shouting in Portuguese.
Why is everybody shouting in the background, but the staff do not seem bothered at all? This man looks like he's in the prime position to see that the rope's not attached. He just looks over casually. I'm not trying to accuse anyone of anything, but it looks to me like he knew what was going on. Honestly, that's just my opinion. That's just opinion, straight opinion, nothing more than just my personal little opinion. But to me, in my opinion, it don't make no sense whatsoever.
The rope.
Why is everybody else behind him freaking out, but he's not bothered? He's calm.
Emergency crews were immediately dispatched, but the victim, identified by local media as a 21-year-old student, was declared dead at the scene. The governor's office in Sao Paulo says 3 men were arrested for homicide with eventual intent. A police official saying the team operating on the bridge did not have the authorization to be there. An investigation is now underway. Danielle Hamamjan, NBC News.
We thank you.
So it's a homicide, all right? So here's some details about the arrest that followed, okay? And it's pretty crazy. There's going to be some interesting backstory here, so you can understand what actually went down. So Brazilian woman loses her life in a rope jump disaster after staff make critical error during attraction. 21-year-old woman lost her life after being launched from a rope jump platform without the safety rope attached, according to police and witness accounts. The tragic incident happened on Saturday morning, June 13th at Ponte de Esqueleto, the skeleton bridge in Limeira, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Maria Eduarda Rodrigues de Freitas had arrived at the site for what was supposed to be an adventure activity, but a devastating mistake allegedly turned the jump into a fatal fall from approximately 40 meters. Just 21 years old, man. So sad. As footage of the incident spread online, viewers reacted with shock and anger over what many described as an unimaginable safety failure. An absolute nightmare situation. You put 100% of your trust into the instructors in these moments. Rest in peace to her, one commenter wrote. Right? So, according to the military police, a witness reported that employees from the company responsible for the activity forgot to secure the rope before Maria Eduarda was launched from the platform. A video circulating on social media reportedly captured the final moments before tragedy, and in the footage, 3 employees can be seen carrying Maria Eduarda towards the jumping structure. Moments later, she's pushed from the platform. Seconds after the jump, panic breaks out amongst those present. The rope, one person can be heard shouting after she's pushed. Right? The sign says risk of death. Some people are saying, oh, I can't believe that they would use it for that kind of thing. To me, this was straight up murder. The way those guys threw that girl, even though she wanted it, look at the height of that stuff. Guys, the rope, another voice repeats in apparent desperation. Authorities said the jump took place from a height of roughly 40 meters. Emergency crews from the fire department and mobile emergency care service, SAMU, were called to the scene, but Maria Eduarda was pronounced lifeless there on the scene. Okay, so that's her posting the drop and the exact spot where she would eventually lose her life. It's so sad. According to authorities, 2 men fled the scene immediately after the accident and were later found in a wooded area with assistance from the Aguirre police helicopter. In total, 6 people were arrested, while 3 reportedly remained in custody as the investigation continued. The case was transferred to the 2nd Police District of Limeira. Okay, so these three guys didn't notice. The people around didn't warn. She herself didn't notice. It's so bizarre that it feels like it had to happen. Scary. How do these guys forget the rope is the only effing mandatory thing for this? It says the men seen in videos from the scene appear to be wearing shirts linked to the companies Entre Cordas and Avoy. At the time of reporting, representatives from the companies had not publicly commented on the incident. She had posted about the outing shortly before the jump. Hours before the accident, she shared images from the location on social media. Eduarda from Jandira, Sao Paulo, posted photos of the bridge, identification bracelets for the activity, and company members performing jumps with proper equipment. One of her Instagram stories posted at 7:31 a.m. showed a banner from the company operating at the site. This person said, it's totally insane that in a process like this, there's no triple checking. What's the point of having 3 people there then? Said alongside the image, she wrote, who is the crazy person who let me jump off a bridge? According to her social media profile, Maria Eduarda has degrees in physical education and sports management, and she often posted about outdoor activities and nature. Friends and family later learned that what was intended to be an exciting day out would become her final outing. Local officials have pursued legal action over safety concerns at the bridge. It says, following the tragedy, Limera City Hall announced plans to sue federal government over what officials described as negligence involving Ponte do de Esqueleto. According to the city administration, responsibility for inspection, maintenance, and access control at the bridge belongs to federal authorities. Officials said that they had repeatedly requested safety measures in the area before the accident, but no concrete action had been taken, the city stated. So what irresponsibility from the team. How could no one remember the most important thing? So it says, Mayor Murillo Felix said the tragedy highlighted the long-standing concerns surrounding this location. Unfortunately, the federal government's omission has just resulted in yet another tragedy in Limera, he said. The city argued that beyond investigating the circumstances of Maria Eduarda's death, authorities must also examine whether enough had been done to address known risks at the site. Meanwhile, investigators continue to examine how a rope jumping participant could have allegedly been launched from a 40-meter platform without safety rope intended to protect her. Viewers questioned how such a basic safety step could have been missed. It's insane. It says, dude, did they forget to tie the rope to her? Is that it? Is it that serious? Or just messing around, one person wrote. It said, how does the person not realize that they didn't go through the step of putting on the safety equipment? Another asked. Others directed their criticism at the operators. They didn't even look to see if the rope was on. They just shot her off. Shocking incompetence. This wasn't an accident waiting to happen. It was a failure of basic safety and poor negligence. Several viewers also focused on the reaction captured in the video. Insane how no one even sounds distressed, one commenter wrote. They literally just picked her up and threw her off a bridge. The worst part is she paid them to do it, another added. Others called for severe punishment if negligence is proven. I don't think you need to prove shit. We've seen it. I hope those responsible pay for what they did to her. They didn't forget the helmet, but they forgot the rope, wrote one Nietzsche. Most shocking thing, how did she not notice she was up without ropes, that the guys didn't tie her up? This is insane, how bizarre. It said, oh my god, I was thinking it was a fake video or something from a movie. I can't believe this actually happened. It said, may God have her, and that here on earth, these 3 murderers pay. It wasn't an accident, it was a homicide, sons of bitches. 3 people, man, this is surreal, unacceptable, and unbelievable, you know? There's nothing that can justify a mistake like that. For 20 years, I lived near this bridge. I got tired of going up there to run, to chill with the bros. In the last 3 years, the place turned into a mess. Muggings, suicides, accidents, creepy as hell. People saying that was murder. Nothing makes me think otherwise. Utter recklessness. Says they didn't forget the helmet. They forgot the rope. This is effed up. Unbelievable. Chain up everyone involved. This is manslaughter at the very least for F's sake. What irresponsibility. Think about what she felt when she realized that halfway through the fall, she didn't have the rope. Chilling. I wonder if she realized. Or she just thought, how am I not bouncing back? Okay. But the really tragic part is that now they're claiming that she was actually alive when she hit the ground. Okay, it says a bungee jumper who died after ropes weren't attached was actually still alive when she was found, the nurse shares. And this has just come out, this news. It says a bungee jumper who died when she had no safety cord attached before the jump took place was still alive when she was found on the ground, the nurse who was on the scene revealed. 21-year-old Maria Eduarda Rodriguez de Freitas tragically fell 131 feet to her death on 13th of June after staff from the bungee jumping company Entre Cordas allegedly forgot to attach her safety cord. Horrifying videos from the exact moment have been going viral. They show when she was thrown off Ponte de Esqueleto in Limera, Brazil, also known as Skeleton Bridge. Now, the nurse who was on the scene to try and help the 21-year-old has spoken out. Nurse Reza Diaz was at the scene at the time and recalled the student was still alive when she first saw her. That is messed up. He said, I scraped my whole hand because there's a steep slope down there and only one rope for us to climb down, Diaz told Brazilian TV network. It was all covered in mud. I kept going down, and we walked all the way. She then said that Maria Eduarda Rodriguez de Freitas had been alive but had a weak pulse and added, I even talked to her. I have a habit of joking and saying nobody dies on my shift. And I told her, Duda, Eduarda, nobody dies on my shift, even though I wasn't actually on my shift there. That's chilling. 6 people have now been arrested in connection with her death. A representative for the Sao Paulo government confirmed to People. The 3 men who were at the scene, Luis Felipe Feliciano Egoroff, age 32, Vitor de Freitas Goncalves, 27, and Maicon Fernandez Sintra, 42, are all facing charges of homicide with implied malice. The men reportedly told police they couldn't remember whose job it was to attach the rope. Now, another witness claimed that this was actually supposed to be him that did the jump. And he says that he narrowly missed death. I don't know why this isn't working, but let me just pull it up in another tab. Here we go. As it was supposed to be me, bungee jump witness recalls tragedy after narrowly missing death. He left his home 40 minutes late. A man who witnessed Maria Eduarda Rodriguez de Freitas fall to her death in a horror bungee jump tragedy in Brazil has spoken out and revealed it was supposed to be him jumping at that time. The 21-year-old fell 131 feet to her death, and staff forgot to attach her safety cord. Higa William Dines Ferreira told G1 that he was actually supposed to do the jump at the time that Maria sadly died, but he left his home late, so he was late getting to the bridge. Little did he know at that time, leaving his home just 30 minutes later than anticipated means he narrowly missed death. He said, it was supposed to be me because I was supposed to leave home today at 6 a.m. to go there. However, I ended up being late and left at 6:40 p.m. My jump between me and this woman was like 5 to 10 people. It was the time I was late, the time she spent in front of me, he said. That's crazy, bro. That's Final Destination shit, man. It says Higor said that he found the bungee jumping company through social media, and the staff member said that he worked there for about 4 or 5 years and nothing bad had ever happened. The witness had actually jumped at that location before, and the equipment had always been checked, but this time they allegedly forgot the rope. How on earth are you forgetting the rope? It says all the boys checked if it was right, but they didn't check the woman's. There were 3 boys, and the 3 ignored the fact that she was thrown like that. That's so bizarre. And they just didn't seem bothered. That's weird. So when the accident happened, the witness claimed one of the staff members quickly left. The boy, the second one behind who threw her, put his hand on his head, got up, took his things and left. The guy left before us before the police, firefighters and ambulances arrived, he explained. However, one of the men insisted to the court that they weren't trying to flee the scene. Cap. All right? Absolute bullshit. So the staff from the company have actually apparently been speaking out. What do you think they said? I don't remember. This is a joke, okay? The bungee jump staff who were working when a woman fell to her death in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Saturday have spoken out for the first time in court after their arrest, and one of them claimed that he doesn't remember if her safety rope was checked. 21-year-old... Okay, we read this over and over again. So the 6 people were arrested. We know about that. The 3 staff members allegedly changed their clothes and fled the scene before ambulances and police arrived, but they were arrested shortly after at the Ponte de Escuelo trail. And speaking to the court on Sunday, Egoroff claimed that he took his clothes off because they were wet, and he wasn't trying to flee. Yeah, sure. My shirt was already wet. It was very dirty. I just went to the car to put on a clean one. Yeah, you just accidentally threw someone to their death, and it was like, let me change my shirt real quick. I just went to the car to just change my shirt. It was just a normal thing. And then I was definitely going to help. He said, the rescue team arrived with the equipment and I got out and went up the trail. I went to the car, changed my shirt and went to the middle of the bridge. That's when the police arrived with guns drawn and then it hit me. We're here. Nobody ran. He insisted, sounds to me, in my opinion, he tried to run and he flopped. He insisted that everybody responsible stayed there. That's not what we heard from everyone else. They weren't trying to flee the scene. You didn't pull it off, did you? Sintra, it's usually Egoroff who checks the safety cords are attached, but he doesn't remember if Maria's was checked. Well, we saw it wasn't checked. We saw with our own eyes. This is the thing. People do stuff like this, and they let stuff like this happen, and then they just want you to ignore the evidence of your own eyes and ears. We saw you didn't check. Usually it's Mr. Egoroff who puts on the rope. In 99% of cases, and I assist with the operation, I participate in the check, I call the person, I check the helmet, but in her case, I don't remember. Something doesn't add up. So it says, Judge Paulo Henrique Stolberg Natal of the Criminal Court in Limeira ordered the 3 men remain detained in prison for 5 reasons, including That the death of the young victim was avoidable. This was gross negligence in the execution of a high-risk commercial activity characterized by the deliberate omission of indispensable safety equipment. The judge also said the company organized the activity without observing risk management protocols, revealing a conscious acceptance of the risk of death, and they exploited the victim's vulnerability, who trusted in the competence and responsibility of the organizers. The attempt to flee and change clothing after the event also demonstrated an awareness of the illegality and an intent to obstruct the investigation, the judge concluded. I can't remember. It is actually ridiculous. So look, I've got some more. The final update, right? The mother of the girl who passed away speaks out for the first time. So, my beloved daughter, you're gone, and all that remains here is pain. I couldn't imagine being her mother. It is so, so sad to hear. So her mother is actually speaking out. Porto Leo Diaz, Maria's mother, as per Porto Leo Diaz, that's the news reporter, Maria's mother, Valdina Rodriguez, posted a number of statements on her social media and reposted heartfelt condolence messages. She said in one statement, that damn rope took you away from me forever. My beloved daughter, you're gone, and all that remains here is pain and longing. I love you forever. In a follow-up post later that night, Valdina thanked her daughter for being part of her life for 21 years. My beloved daughter, today alone, I wanted to hug you more than 1,000 times. How much your departure hurts me. I love you eternally, my princess, and thank you so much for being part of my life for these 21 years. What an honor it was to hear you call me mother. God, thank you for this privilege. So she was buried on Sunday morning in Jandira, Greater Sao Paulo, the city where she lived with her family. So people have been reacting to this on Reddit and kind of providing a bit more context and background about the situation. Okay, so let's get into it. We know where this is going. Okay, so it says somewhere in Brazil they forgot to attach the bungee rope and she died of the fall. Damn. So let me just check if this is different. So this has got a couple of details that we didn't actually hear previously. So these are key facts. Okay. The victim was Maria Eduarda Rodriguez de Freitas, a 21-year-old woman, recent physical education graduate from Jandira SP. She was with her fiance at the site, and apparently they were saying that he actually, I see other articles that said that the fiance had a breakdown and had to be hospitalized after seeing this murder of his fiance. It occurred during the rope jump, a bungee pendulum-style jump at the Skeleton Bridge, an abandoned, unregulated railway bridge over the Piracicaba River on the Trilha de Ponte do Esqueleto Trail. So the company, it says they forgot to attach the safety rope. We see it. Everybody says, what's going on? Her rope, what's going on? She fell freely, suffered fatal multiple trauma injuries. The firefighters and the emergency services responded. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Bystanders attempted CPR. Her fiancé reportedly collapsed from shock and needed medical attention. And in the aftermath, 6 people were detained. 3 were charged with manslaughter. Staff tried to flee the scene. And this is what's interesting. The company deleted its Instagram account and related WhatsApp group shortly after. The site is popular for unregulated adventure sports but lacks official oversight. So yeah, they cleaned it up. They deleted all the WhatsApps, all the pages, all the Instagrams. Cover up, all right? Operation cover up. Operation delete everything, all right? It's unbelievable. They're saying it's like real Final Destination. What a painful death. Thankfully, it probably wasn't. Bungee is free fall, so she would have never realized there's no cord attached except for the last fraction of a second. On impact, she would have had at the minimum lost consciousness. Unfortunately, they're saying she was still conscious. It says, I like to think she would have gone mentally off and her mind would have protected her against the pain by turning it off. I remember reading something like this, that can happen. So hopefully adrenaline, whatever kicked in, hopefully she didn't suffer too much. People saying they can't believe that the cameraman was just recording this. They only realized once she was mid-journey. It just doesn't really make sense. 4 people, including the girl, didn't realize they haven't tied the rope. They're saying she trusted them, but the staff were incompetent. People just can't believe it's real. It's actually so shocking. How did she not know? That's why they avoid bungee jumps. So look, all right? I think something else is going on here. I feel like this don't make no sense whatsoever. You really just threw her off there. You just threw her off and no one reacted. Everyone's talking in the background. Rope, where's the rope? The guys that did the throw-in, they're like, yeah. I don't know if you could say they're in shock. I really don't know. I would like to know what the conversations were before she jumped. I would like to know if there are any connections between her, the fiance, the organization, the company, what was going on before this happened. But this does not add up in one little bit. Okay, so let me know what you thought of that story. I'll keep you guys updated. If I hear anything more, I feel like this will go to court, and I just think personally something crazy is going to come out, some extra piece of information, because this doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And why is no one checking the rope? Why is she not checking the rope? It's bizarre. But anyway, I hope you found that a useful breakdown. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and for now, I'm out. Peace.